What if I told you there's a simple sports betting strategy that guarantees you long-term profits? And best of all, it won't cost you a single dime. I'm Tony, a full-time professional bettor that makes a very good living from this game. And today, I'm going to show you how to apply this method and start profiting from your sportsbook. It doesn't matter where you live or what level you're at. If you have access to sports betting, you can apply this strategy today. Welcome to Betting Analyst, where I teach you to bet smart. First things first, professional sports betting is all about the math. It's the only metric that matters. You'll make money long term only if you consistently bet at higher odds than the true market value. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine flipping a coin. There's a 50% chance that it lands on heads, and there's a 50% chance that it lands on tails. Now, in betting terms, those odds would be 2, or in America, plus 100. If you are constantly betting on odds below 2, you will lose money over time. If you are consistently betting odds over 2, you will profit over time. Now, sports betting isn't as clear cut as a coin toss, but there is still what we call the market price. This is the true 100% book price with no sportsbook margin added. As you probably know, every sportsbook builds in what they call the vigorish, also known as the margin. But because sportsbooks compete against each other and because they're setting prices on thousands of different events, small discrepancies appear. Those discrepancies are your opportunity. And to help you find them, there's a great free betting tool called the betting exchanges. The most well known is Betfair, but there are others such as Matchbook or Smarkets, or in the US you've got Profitex or Novig. If you're not familiar with exchanges, here's a simple version. A betting exchange is what they call peer-to-peer betting, means that you are betting against another person. Now, the only cost to the consumer is a small commission on the winnings. Most of the time, the odds on the betting exchanges reflect what we call the true market value. This gives you the benchmark that you need to beat. Now, you might hear people say that the betting exchanges offer the best betting value. But you can believe me, this is not always true. Sometimes sportsbooks lag behind the market. They have too much liability on one side or take a strong opinion on a game. And that's when they might actually offer better odds than the exchanges. And that's exactly where we, as smart bettors, find the edge. Now, before I take you through the platform, take note of the following. This strategy works best when the market is strong. That means good liquidity. The sports that work best are obviously football, the European top leagues, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, top tour tennis, horse racing, golf, cricket, you name it. If it's a top sport, then it's going to have liquidity. And obviously, the nearer you get into the kickoff, the start of something, then that's when the liquidity is going to be at its peak. And that also applies to in-play betting. If you can't get direct access from your country to Betfair, then I would suggest either use a VPN, or if you really wanted to, then you could use the odds comparison websites. There's plenty out there. Just make sure that they're up to speed and that mark will say close to 100%. And finally, before we get into the actual 3-minute walkthrough, I just want to mention this is also important to originators. If you're finding your own bets, that's all good and well, but you've still got to make sure that you're near to the market price, or preferably over the market price. So bear that in mind. It's not just value betting. You've got to use this tool as your benchmark. I've been doing this successfully for many years. I was even using the wife to actually send me bets through while I'm on the other side of the telephone in betting shops, etc. Right, so just take that into consideration. Let's go on to the talk through. So let's do a quick walkthrough. This is betfair.com, the biggest betting exchange out there. What we're going to need to do first is actually click on the exchange, because they also offer a sportsbook, which is totally uninteresting. And this is what you're going to be confronted with. You're going to see the sport highlights that are coming up, and if you look across to the right, you can see there is what is being matched in terms of betting revenue, and you can see here the current odds that are being offered. You can bet at 11.5 or you could lay at 12.5. What we're interested in is using this pink line as our guidance. These are the odds that really you need to beat if you want to make sports betting profitable with your sportsbook. So in the instance of France, they're currently the lay price is 133. So if you can get 133 or above, you're going to be ahead of the betting market. We can actually click on that game itself and you can see the way the actual bets are being offered. There's all the different lines there. I'm not going to suggest that you look into the correct score market because you can see the liquidity is low, 3055. But if you go across to the 1x2, it's at 265,000. It's being bet at the moment in time, so it's relatively strong. You can see the back lines are all filled in, 134, 135. So you could lay more of those odds if you wish to, and that also does give you opportunities for arbitrage if you actually can bet with the sportsbook at a bigger price and use Betfair. So we can go to all the sports. At the moment, there's not that much really happening. There's the American football coming up. You can see the 21,586 matched on the Buffalo Bills game. You can then go to other sports, and if you look at the likes of basketball, there's nothing really happening because the season's out. So there's absolutely no benefit to looking in those. You could also go to the in-play market. So if we go down to tennis, you can see these are currently in play. These are just small tournaments, so no interest to us whatsoever. But if we go down to, say, Osaka, which is a serious tournament, you can actually see the actual odds in play that are being offered. So Sakari 166, you can bet at, or you can lay it to 167. In the Katie Bolter game, the 71,000 in match bets there, and you can see there's a bit of a discrepancy between sort of 134, but that's just changed. It's gone now 135. That's what you could actually lay at. But like I mentioned, you're going to have to be pretty sharp if you want to be going to the in-play markets. There's 203,000 there. This is what interests us. It's the liquidity especially, and also sort of sticking with the main type of bets, which is, like I mentioned, the 1x2, the Asian handicaps, or probably the over under the totals betting. So basically this is what you've got, and this is what you can use as a fantastic benchmarking tool to generate profits and be ahead of the game. Yeah, so that's the system in a nutshell. That's just basically what you need, how you can easily profit, or at least benchmark and check out that you're getting proper odds on your types of bets. Now, the only thing I would say to you is that there are other methods. I'll mention a couple at the end of this video. But before then, I just also want to mention that if you want to fast track yourself, if you've got meat in the game, if you're serious about sports betting, then you should get yourself a value betting software, because basically what they do is they go and seek for you this information. They find the overpriced odds and tell you, they let you know, they inform you, and it's this what you can obviously use then to place your bets and profit from the sports. Value betting software that I would recommend the most is Bettor. I'm really into Bettor at the moment. They've got 370 plus bookmakers on the list, so it literally covers the whole world, including offshores. But the thing is with Bettor, it's well priced as well. It's not as expensive as some of the other softwares, and it does a lot more. It's quick, it's efficient, it's going to point out all those mistakes from the different sports books, so you can take advantage. Go and check out Bettor. What I'll do is I'll put a link up. I'll do it as a pinned comment so you can click over and check it out for yourself. As a bit of a bonus for you guys that stay the old distance, I just want to mention that you can also use Sportsbooks to guide you. Once you learn which ones are strong in which sport, source, and then you can use them also to benchmark. So just for example, if you wanted to bet on handball or something like a Scandinavian ice hockey, you'd look towards the Scandinavian bookmakers like maybe Unibet and so on. You know, if they was offering 1.9 on something and your sportsbook at 2.2, then obviously you've got a big advantage. And I also want to mention that you can use a Pinnacle as a guide. I mean, it's the sharpest sportsbook in the world, and what you do in this instance, you've just got to remove the vigorish, and I showed you how to do this in this video at the end.